And it is. Welcome everybody to Marriage Monday. It's Monday night. Even if the sun is still out, it's Monday night. For those of you who are joining us live here on the YouTube channel, it's great to have you with us. It's Marriage, Lisa.
Monday.
Marriage.
Monday.
Marriage.
Monday.
Welcome everybody. You look very nice tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
got
you.
all dressed up for everybody, for our marriage, for having everybody to our couch.
Of course, of course.
How do I look tonight?
You look great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I had to fish for that compliment, but I want to just point out that I'm a bad boy. I'm a rebellious guy, and I'll tell you why. Because our tech guy, Chris, has told us explicitly, don't wear checkered pattern clothes because it messes with the camera. Woo! But I'm so bad.
You're so rebellious.
Every area. So I'm wearing checkered pattern. I'm wearing these pants, which I don't know if you can tell. I'm doing everything wrong tonight.
What's wrong with the pants?
These are green, and an old lady once told me when I was young, blue and green should never be seen except inside a washing machine. So I'm crazy tonight. I'm doing everything wrong. I'm wearing checkers up top. I've got stripes for socks. So listen, hitch your wagon to this guy, honey. I'm a bad boy. I'm rebellious. And I heard somewhere that the ladies like the rebel guys.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So anyways, welcome. It's Marriage Monday. Once again, Kevin and Lisa not rehearsing what's going on.
Yes. Hi, everybody.
This is just
Thanks
wild.
for joining us.
You never know what's going to happen here on Marriage Monday. So we want to keep going, though.
Yes, we do.
Go right ahead.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us. We know we had a great time last week, and we hope that this week was wonderful as you all gave confidence to each other. Mm-hmm. And we were just curious. We talked about not just being confident, but giving confidence to each other. Yeah. So we were curious how that went for you this week. And we just thought, to be creative, maybe you could rate on the chat out of between 1 and 10. How did it go this week?
1 being
not so good.
Not so good.
And 10 being awesome.
You brought the confidence.
Yeah. How did that go? So
tell us how.
Hopefully people are.
Rate how you did this week. How did I do this week? How would we rate us this week?
Oh, that's a good question. You didn't tell me we were going to rate ourselves.
Well, we're killing time.
I think this was a good week for us, actually.
Yeah. Brought the confidence.
Yeah.
An 8.
Maybe I was thinking 8. Yes.
Yeah. Did pretty good with
Good
the
job.
confidence. Yeah. All right.
Anyone saying
No one's
anything
willing
there?
to play along yet,
come
but
on.
we're probably there's a lag. There's
true.
some time.
Okay.
Or our friends are completely stubborn tonight and they aren't going to play along.
Oh, they're feeling shy.
Could be.
Or they're just
logging
on. They're just coming on.
Your son-in-law.
Oh, come on, Evan. Or John.
He brought 11.
Wow.
He brought 11.
Evan?
Liar! He's not telling the truth. I can't believe I let him marry my daughter. Just so. Who else we got? Carrie Boyce, 8. Carrie,
nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
We're with you there. Cherry and Winston, a 9. Are you guys kidding me? You just put that down because we said 8.
Those guys have an awesome marriage. They're so cute.
I don't know.
Love them.
Do we trust them?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, yeah. Well, we got lots of 8s. Yeah.
That's
very
great.
Good. 8s. 4 and 5. All right. Appreciate your honesty there, but that's not the end of the world, is it? 9. Your daughter.
Which one?
In California.
Oh, okay. Hi, Michaela.
Her husband says that he brought 12.
Oh,
I've got the feeling that he's
awesome.
saying that because his brother-in-law said 11. Let's ignore the Robbins family for the rest of the night.
Okay.
Let's not have them waste our time. 7. 8.5 from Nova Scotia. 8.5. Hey, by the way, happy birthday, Nova Scotia. Happy birthday, Greg Taylor.
Yeah, sorry we couldn't
giving Stu
meet
an
on
8.
your Zoom birthday.
Jude, great, 8. That's really great.
Okay.
So thanks, everybody, for sharing. We want to bring confidence to each other, and that is very important. That's what we talked about last week. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. Before we do that, let's have a little bit of an icebreaker.
Okay, we have a game.
We're renowned for our humor here.
Oh, renowned. Wow.
Let's go for it.
Must be my humor.
It is. Your game, honey. You go.
Okay, so we're going to play a game.
Will follow.
And I'm sure you've probably played this game before, but we need you to have each other's shoes. So you have to
Shoes.
take off your shoes, or if you're at home, get your slippers out, and we'll get ours off
right.
as well, because we're going to play along with you.
Okay.
So come on,
Yeah.
be a sport, get your shoes.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Are you guys ready?
Give me
okay.
your shoe.
So you
One
need one of
shoe,
my shoes,
switch
and I
shoes,
need one
one
of your
shoe.
shoes. Okay,
Got
so
my
you
shoe.
got to have each other's shoes
Lisa's shoe.
in both
All
hands.
right.
Now go back to back with each other.
Yep.
Okay, and you have your shoes in each hand,
Okay.
and we're going to ask a question, and you're playing with your spouse. You're not playing against your spouse.
Right, we want to win.
No, you're playing against all the other spouses out
That's
there.
right.
So
like playing
all
with
the other
you.
couples out there. So anyway, you want to win. So basically, you want to answer the question the same.
Yeah.
This is how well you know your spouse.
So if we think that if it's me who is the one, then if we both put my shoe up, then we're right.
That's right.
Is that the way this
Yeah,
works?
yeah. Like if
and
we go like this
think
and I
it's
look-
you and we both put your shoe up,
Yes.
then we're right.
Yes.
But if we put your shoe and my shoe, then
That's right.
We blew it.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right,
Let's play
question
this
number
game.
one. Who says, I love you more?
Oh. Okay.
Oh, wait a second.
No, come on. What did you just do? Look. You gotta look.
Oh,
What? I do.
Oh,
Absolutely.
okay, great.
Clearly. You know, we wrote the questions.
Okay.
You think we'd cheat and
I
know the
didn't-
answers.
All
We
right,
don't.
so we didn't discuss
So
the
that's 1 point
answers,
for
though.
us.
Number 2, there's 10 questions, okay? So you're going to score yourselves out of 10.
All
Who initiates sex more? All right.
How
Yeah,
about it?
yeah.
Am I right?
Oh, 2 out of 2.
Yes,
out of 2.
sirree.
Okay, all right,
The
keep
big
score.
shoes are winning.
All right, question number 3.
Yeah.
Who is more romantic? Oh my gosh, I'm doing terrible.
What are you doing?
No,
we're doing good.
I know, but
we're
this
beating
is,
everybody.
this is
It's
bad.
3-0 for
Oh
us.
gosh.
We're
Okay.
awesome.
Okay.
Not to
Question.
mention I'm awesome.
I
I'm coming out pretty
I didn't
awesome
think this
here.
through. I didn't think this through. Okay,
All right,
number 4.
let's go.
Who orders the more expensive meals?
Oh boy.
Okay. Oh, good.
I do.
Okay.
I like fish. Yeah.
Sorry if I'm screaming too loudly.
Oh, yes.
Number 5. Who has the best sense of humor? I hate this game.
Well, you
I
just
hate
told
this
me.
game.
You just told me
I hate this
what
game.
the answer was.
Okay.
Did you even answer?
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
okay, 5.
All right.
Hey, we're
well,
100% so
we're
far.
doing very well.
We've got an
Number
amazing
6,
marriage.
but yet I don't feel very good about it. Number 6. Who is sappier? Who cries more during movies or even commercials? You know, who is sappier?
Yes. Oh, I'm
better.
sorry, everybody. Gotta watch the microphone. Yes, that was close though.
That was close.
I'm pretty sappy.
We are doing so good.
Yep.
Okay, number 7. Who can withstand more pain?
That's a tough one.
Yes, I would
Yeah.
say so.
You delivered a couple more babies than me.
Yeah, okay.
That would've
You
killed
probably
me.
can, but you
Are
know.
you kidding?
Anyway,
Absolutely not. I got a headache. I'm
okay. All right, number 8. Who is a better driver? Yeah, okay.
out.
Are we,
We're awesome.
Oh my gosh, okay.
100%. Nobody's gonna beat us.
Okay.
This is like us. All right.
number 9. Who is more adventurous in the bedroom?
My.
That's embarrassing. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I love this game.
Okay.
I love this game.
Okay, number 10. This is the last one.
All right. You know we're 9.
Huh? We're 9 out of
9
9. Yes.
Like
okay.
nobody can touch us.
Number 10.
We deserve to be sitting on this
Who
couch.
who liked the other first?
Is it you? Yes.
All right.
All right.
Wow,
Very
honey,
interesting.
well, that's
So,
awesome.
Tell us what you guys got.
Yes.
Oh, or actually, if you got 10 out of 10, like Kevin and Lisa,
Yeah.
how did we get 10? We never
I
get
don't
10
know.
out of
That
10.
was rigged.
We're on
but
tonight. If you got 10 out of 10, tell us in the, can I have my shoe? Tell us in the chat. Welcome to our living room. It's Monday night
Yes.
as we put our clothes back on. It's nice to have you here. Hi, how weird is that?
okay.
Anybody else? Oh, look. someone out there, like Zavika, who's not with her husband, is writing down all the questions. Who's more adventurous in the... All right, so we've got the Taylors got 10, the Shaws got 10. Of course they did. Champong's 8, very good.
Jeremy
The
and Melissa
Jews
got 10. Way to go, newlyweds.
Well done, and we finally beat Winston and Cherry.
Oh.
We knew it would take this long, but we did it there. Look at all the people who got 10 or 9 out of 10. Good for you.
Oh.
The areas really disappointed in you guys.
Oh, no, what did they get?
8.
Oh, my goodness.
How do you show your face around here?
Wow.
Get to know your spouse. Actually, that might be what we should talk
Yes.
about tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. Thanks, everybody, for being here. It is Marriage Monday. We just played that silly game.
We hope you had fun. I think that was one of our better starts.
Was it?
Yeah, I thought
we
it was
have
fun.
no clue. We're sitting in a sound stage with no one, 40,000 square feet of nothing. We can't tell if we're bombing or if we're doing good or not. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. We want to talk a little bit tonight about, we want to talk about something tonight, but just to remind you about what we've talked about in weeks past, or at least last week especially. In the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about intimacy.
Yes,
and
we
the
have.
importance of intimacy.
Yep.
And just in case you're
How
wondering...
essential intimacy is.
Yep, and if you're wondering what intimacy is, here on this nice PG-flavored chat, it's
Yes.
sex.
Yes.
Yep. So that's the kind of intimacy that we've been talking about. And the first week that we did meet, we just talked, as Lisa said, that it is really essential. It's so important in any married relationship to keep the intimacy going and to give it a high place, a high premium, and a high priority in your life. Last week, we talked about the fact that intimacy does so much better with confidence.
Yes.
But the twist was that it's not so much that I need to gain confidence, which arguably I do,
Yeah.
and anyone else does, but that we give to the other person.
Yeah. And that we're
Confidence.
even open and honest about our insecurities with each other, and don't hold that against each other, but actually help build up the confidence.
Yeah, so you might have remembered
That really helps in the intimacy department.
Really does. Really does. And if you're joining us for the first time right now, it's okay. You can go back, and if you want to watch those or just trust us, that's what we talked about last week. And this week, what we want to talk about with you is, continuing on the intimacy thing, is the importance of connection and to really connect with each other and the ways that we do it. Now, we are going to do something a little bit different here. Lisa and I are people of faith. As a matter of fact, my full-time job is I'm a minister, and Lisa's, well, a minister. She's a minister's wife, and I'm a minister's husband, actually, if you look at it that way. And we believe and work together, and we are coming from this place that we believe that within the Bible, there is so much wisdom given to all of us that can really impact our relationship in a very positive way. And we understand that when it comes to the Bible and it comes to that kind of that writing, that not necessarily everybody who will watch this actually believes the same thing we believe. But what we want to say, if that's where you're at right now, that's absolutely fine. Keep watching. There's no judgment on that. But especially understand this, at least from our opinion, that we think that the Bible not only has kind of some divine message for us, a real good, healthy message that's necessary, but even if you don't believe that, we believe that the Bible has so much good, constructive words and direction in it that it can really help even your marriage and, of course, the rest of your life. So we're kind of saying it's common sense. There's a lot of common sense in the Bible that can really help your marriage. So we just wanted to take a couple of minutes, and I especially wanted to take a couple minutes, and I want to talk about the importance of connection in our intimacy and how, if we look all the way back to kind of the ancient part of the Bible, to that very first book that was written, the book of
Genesis.
The book of Genesis is the first book that we have in what we call our Old Testament, or in the beginning of the Bible, and look at two characters, and their names are Adam and Eve. And I just wanted to kind of set the stage of where Adam and Eve show up. According to the Bible, they're the first man and the first woman. And what's really interesting in their story, of course, is that Adam was all by himself at some point, and then God shows up realizes he's got a deficiency in some way, realizes that he needs something. He's got a loneliness, and it's not that God didn't know that,
No,
but
it was his
deliberately
plan.
set it up this way so Adam would really understand, hey, I want something more, and there's nothing here on earth that is making me happy. Wonder what it could be. So God shows up, and the Bible says that he took out of Adam something. And some of our Bibles say he took out a rib, but actually that's not the actual translation. The best translation is God took something from around Adam. So it took a real piece of him, so to speak, and he created what would be called woman. And when Adam sees woman for the very first time, Adam is man, right? When he sees woman for the very first time, it really hits home of how he wants some connection with her. Do you remember what he said?
I believe he said something along the lines of, she is
He's like, wow.
wow, bone of my bone,
right?
flesh of my flesh.
Yes.
Yes.
She shall be
called woman. Yes.
So he sees her for the very first time, and it's just like, it's craziness. And you know, almost when you read his words, and this is what we're going to talk about a little bit tonight. When you read these words, there is some sexuality in his words. And you're like, some of the guys out there are like, there was no sex right at that point. Okay, but his words are almost orgasmic in the way he says them. It's like, wow, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh.
There was some excitement there,
great
for
desire
sure.
that he has for this woman. And he gives her a name. He calls her woman. And that name in the Hebrew, and this is, I just want to kind of geek out and give this to you a little bit, but the word he says in Hebrew is Isha. Isha. And it's kind of spelled like Isa, but it's Isha. That's how you say it. And I remember that because I'm married to Lisa, and she is, whoa, very exciting to me. So you see how I did that right there? Anyways, so when he first sees this woman, he sees who would be his wife. He says, you are woman. And the definition of that, when he says you are Isha, it means you are my essence. You are everything to me. You
That's
have
so beautiful.
And especially what he's saying is you are my missing piece.
Wow.
So the first time Adam sees and speaks to this woman, you are my missing piece.
Wow.
A little bit of Jerry Maguire going on here, right? You complete me. That's what he's really saying at that point. Now, if you know the story at all, time goes on and some not great things happen. Not great things happen. In the Bible, it's called rebellion and brokenness and all this kind of stuff. And we have that in our marriages today. And then we find, a couple of chapters later, we find the next time we see Adam and Eve, or we see Adam, the man and the woman together, he actually gives her another name. He calls her by a new name after they go through some bumpy, broken times. And you'll see where we're going to go. I'm taking some liberties here because this kind of happens in our marriages. Our marriages start off, we see each other, and we go, Isha, right? Whoa, that one, come over here. It's everything. But then over time, the next word that Adam, or the next name he calls Eve, I just said it, he calls her Eve. And that word means mother of, basically saying she's now the mother of my children, she's now going to be the mother of everybody. Now, you say, well, I don't really see the problem here, but I just want you to see how it really does change. As it begins, it's like you are my essence, you are everything, and you are the missing part of me. After they go through some time of bumps and brokenness, it just she no longer is that to him, but it's just what she does. It's just what she does now, what she does for him. And you can flip this story backwards too. It's safe to say that the first time the woman saw the man, she knew as well, you're my essence, you're my missing piece. But then over time, it's what do you do? What have you done for me lately? There's a little bit of that, right? A little bit. So the essence, the excitement, the connection is gone. Okay, so I told you all of that, and I didn't even put anything up on the screen. Oh my goodness. But I told you all of that to show you, or to tell you, there's one more word that I want to explain to you in all of this story, and it's the word yada. Or, as some of us have begun saying, the culturally...
Yada.
Yada.
Yeah.
The culturally sort of popular word is to say, and a lot of us got it from the Seinfeld episodes back in the day, right? So when we're talking, we say... Well, you use it in a sentence.
Yada, yada, yada.
That was quite a sentence. It had 3 words in it, and they were all the same. So I was going to the
Well,
store.
you don't want to fill in the blanks. You just say, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I went to the store and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I said, I saw so-and-so and
Yada, yada, yada.
yada, yada, yada. Okay, so that's the cultural wording today, and it's not even close to what it was in the Bible. So back when Adam first sees Eve.
I get it now. So it means like, like, you know, right?
Yeah, honestly, that's where it comes from. Yeah, okay, so she knows where we're going. So that very first time he sees, wow, I'm crazy about her. And then the next time that he sees, or the next time he names her, gives her a name, or calls her a name, it's kind of, she's just, this is what she does now, not who she is anymore. But in the meanwhile, Adam, Eve have sexual relations. And the word for the sexual relations they have is yada, yada. And so they yada, yada, yada together. And they produced a child, Cain specifically. And in the case of the story that I'm talking about. But here's where I want to go with this. And just thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for letting me geek out with little Hebrew right here. Or Greek out. I didn't Greek out, I Hebrewed out. But thanks for sticking with me. Oh, this is bad. But here's what this word really means. And some of you who are people of faith and maybe have read the Bible before, some of the old translations would say this: Adam knew Eve.
Yep.
Adam knew Eve. And you might have always thought, what in the world is that in there for? What a weird thing to say, Adam knew Eve. We all know that what they were doing was they were doing it. Why was it the word knew in there? And the reason it's not just to make you uncomfortable, but it's because the word yada really actually means that. It does mean sexual intercourse, but it also does mean to, sorry guys, to know. Now, okay, that took long and I lost a lot
great.
of, how many people
Beautiful.
clicked off there? No, but here's the whole point of this. If we're talking about intimacy tonight and we're talking about connection tonight, we should go to some of God's first usage of the word sex.
For sex, right from the source.
And the intimacy that is involved in that word. But understand, as you define it, there's so much more than just the act, right? There is this whole knowing process. And so here's our little thesis for tonight. And a lot of the guys are like, oh, no, not again. We came on because we want to hear about sex. Talk about sex. Well, actually, we are, and we're going to hit this a couple times over and over. But believe it or not, such a huge part of sex is knowing. And this is where I really wanted to bring out the word yada and take you back to the first time Adam sees this woman that he's attracted to, and the first time she sees him, it's like, you're the missing piece for me. But then that breaks away over time. It falls away over time, and then we just become an object. What do you provide to me? What have you done for me? Are you making me feel good? But this yada, if you are putting sexual intimacy as a high priority in your life, it's there that we begin to put back again this essence, this missing essence, this you are my missing piece. And
beautiful.
so you see what we're kind of laying down as a foundation here is that a lot of us, we know what it is to have that, it's not really there anymore. Well, how can we get that back? Well, here's Kevin and Lisa on another Monday night saying, believe it or not, your sexual intimacy is what begins to bring it back. Now, I will give you this. Some of the theologians who are watching this will say, yeah, but you never get it back completely because that brokenness came and it will always be. And yes, it's true. In this temporal life that we're living, we are always fighting against. So in the case of Kevin and Lisa,
there's no perfection.
There's certainly no perfection. And in the case of Kevin and Lisa, we're always trying to get the essence back. But we never completely succeed, but that doesn't mean we quit trying.
No.
We're always trying to get that "you're the missing part of me" back.
Yes.
And what we're saying is a big place where that is brought back is through yada, is through yada yada, which is specifically
Knowing.
knowing.
Yes.
And is more specifically sexual intimacy and being serious that our intimacy is essential no matter what, no matter where our journey has taken us. So save me out of the loop I'm in, honey. What should we talk
it's
about
awesome.
next? Oh, what we should do is really define knowing a little bit
Yes.
more. Okay, so let's
Yeah.
do that.
I love this concept, and the first time we ever heard it, it really was so exciting just to think, wow, God is so a part of our sexual relationship. He didn't just create it, He wants it to be so fulfilling. And as Kevin said, part of getting back, claiming back the brokenness, is that the right way of saying it? Finding that essential essence that we had when we first fell in love.
Part of me.
Yeah,
part
it's
of
the
me.
missing piece. It really is. And even when you've been married for a number of years, you can feel like, it's not the better part of me, or it's
true.
this person I'm married to can be challenging at times. But that's because
He wears a checkered shirt when he's on
what
camera.
better way to
What's
get
the guy
back
know?
the essence than our sexual intimacy? It can cure so much of what we're missing. But to really have great sexual intimacy, we need this knowing, and we should talk more about the word, and I'm not going to even try to talk about Hebrew, but I do know that any simple Google search of the word yada will help you to understand that it really is so much more than just the mechanics of sex, having
Right.
sex. It's about knowing each other, understanding each other, connecting with each other,
Yeah.
experiencing each other, not just sexually, but experiencing each other in all kinds of ways, just really knowing each other inside and out, which we've talked about before, but I don't think you can cover it enough, how important. And I know that for a lot of women that I speak to,
Yeah.
connection and knowing is actually the key to having great sex.
Yeah, it's
So-
very interesting because you know that guys are like, oh, another thing on knowing. Oh, I got to try harder. Oh, I got to listen. Oh, I've got to discover you. What would you say to that kind of that sort of thing? And this is not the next question where I was going to ask you to say something. but-
Okay.
But I'm just saying this is where
I would
totally
just
off
say it's
script right
worth
now.
it. It's worth it, and you will discover a whole world that you maybe don't know and aren't experiencing because you haven't really unlocked your spouse in the way that he or she needs to be unlocked. So
It's true.
through knowing and through really them feeling known, and even as you do more study on it, it's God knows us, we're known by God. That's so beautiful, and we need to know ourselves. And I mean, just this whole knowing thing. We don't have enough time to cover it all tonight, but we're giving you a little sampling of it, and hopefully it's going to help.
Yeah.
with-
One of the most important things in a marriage is not so much, if you're thinking about the word yada and you know that it means no, but one of the most important things to know about the word yada and about being known in a marriage is less so the feeling of am I known, and more so the desire and the effort to know the other. And so there's a message, there's a lot of messaging in this world today, and it's not wrong, but there's a lot of messaging in this world today that you deserve to be known, and that is true. And Lisa just talked about that. In our relationship with God, if you have a relationship with God, you should understand that you are known, and that should make you feel absolutely special.
Very secure.
But I will say this in our marriages, that the person you are married to, and I'm going to do a deliberate pause right here, the person you are married to deserves to be known. Yes, you do. Absolutely. Let's not think about that right now. But the person you're married to deserves that you know them. And so I just put that emphasis out there because it does take work. So here's what we want to do. We want to get you guys on the chat again, and we understand this takes a little bit of time. But I'm wondering, let's ask this. I want to ask the women a question. I want to ask you a question. And that is quite simply, and ladies, when I ask this question, jump on the chat and write down a sort of one-word answer or two-word
Or just
answer.
an idea even.
Yeah, an idea, some kind of concept. Tell us or let me ask you this
Okay.
question. When I say known, when I ask you, what am I trying to ask you? Do you want to be, not do you want to be known. When I ask, I'm sorry, everybody. When I ask you, what does it mean to you to be known? What words come to your mind? What do you desire for me? How do you desire for me to know you? Tell me so I can learn.
Okay.
And now, here, let's watch the chat. Fellas, if you have access to your device or a device, watch the chat and maybe drink in some things, some words that you're going to see here from the ladies. And I hope that we all begin to teach each other through
Yes,
this. So
yeah.
the question is, being known.
And I love that you're asking everyone out there, because how I like to be known is not how you like to be known. And hopefully we're going to get a whole number of things, you know, that can be like a little toolbox for everyone to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe you'll see something there
Yeah.
that you can do. So for me, I like to know that I can show you sort of my good, bad, and ugly side, and you still think I'm okay, I'm awesome, you know, that you don't think I'm crazy, or yeah, just that I can really let down my hair and be, you know, sometimes who I am is not pretty, and on the inside, anyway, or the outside, but you know.
You're so sweet.
So I like that you know, that you still think I'm okay, and that you still respect me and love me, and that makes me feel
Right.
very secure.
That's how you want, and that's how you feel. That's what you love. That's what you want me to know and get to know, that part.
I want you to know all sides of me, not
Yes.
just the good, not just the good,
Not just the good side.
not just the, you know.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, just, you know, because we all have our bad
I get
days
it.
and moments, right?
I get it.
Yeah.
Great.
You get it?
Yes.
And
Well,
you do,
I do.
and you do a very good job of that.
Thank you very much. I try. Literally, I have to try, right? That's part of the lesson here. You do the work for it. But and so Lisa was sharing that because I need to hear that, and maybe you need to hear some of what she said as well. But also it gives us time for our little tablet to catch up here. So some of the things that people said for feeling known is the validation of their feelings, to be understood, to listen, or I assume that means to be listened to. That's good for guys to hear, to be understood, to know what brings me peace. Want my husband to know my needs. So guys, all of us,
yeah.
let's do the collective.
Wow,
We're all
that's
listening
good.
here, fellas.
Yeah.
Because what do we want? Well, we want sex. But all right, so let's do some listening and learning right here at this point, right? Hobbies and involvement from the other partner, care, encouragement, to be accepted.
Yes, that was the
again.
one word that I would have used, accepted.
And
I
here
love that.
it's repeated, acceptance of who I
Beautiful.
really am.
Beautiful.
Even our differences, to be understood, to not be judged, my needs, to be heard and accepted. There it is again, to be understood, accepted who I am, listening. So there's a lot of these validating of who you are. These are some really great comments for guys, from women, that guys need to hear. So thank you. You can keep putting those on, but what we're going to do now is switch. Okay, so hand the computer or the tablet or the phone to the guys. We're going to answer now the same question. Why don't you say the question so all the guys,
all right, so
what are we answering?
What makes you feel connected and known by me?
To you. What do you do that makes me feel connected and known?
Yeah,
Okay, so
makes you
guys,
feel known.
go ahead and answer what you feel. I kind of want to
Yeah.
pause here because I don't want to give, I feel like the guys are going to steal my answer.
Oh my
but no, I doubt it. I'm probably so weird it's not going to be, That's a good question. I would say, this is it's tough for me. It's kind of nuanced, but the one word that comes to my mind that makes me feel known and feel connected, believe it or not, is respect. Respect. And I bet that makes absolutely no sense to you when I say that. Does that make sense to you?
It makes sense. I mean, I've often heard that men want to be respected a lot.
Yeah,
So, you know.
I know it's kind of viewed as a flaw in the world we live in, as some kind of deficiency,
And
but
when you say that, like, do you mean like you want me to listen to your
yeah,
opinions?
I don't want to I don't
or-
want to have a scepter and a crown. That's not what I'm talking about, and have my breakfast served with me whenever I yell. That's not what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. But to be, I think I interpret love through the lens of respect. When you say you love me, I guess I would say,
Do you respect
do
me?
I feel that
Right,
respect? And
right,
if I
yeah.
feel that respect,
Wow.
then my brain goes, yes. The Hollywood word for love isn't in my head, but that respect. And so, yeah. So the affirmation that you give me is respect. The working alongside
Yeah,
me is
yeah.
respect. So, let's see what the guys say here as
on,
we
guys.
continue on.
Help us.
Let me see how far I have to go back before I get to some of the guys. By the way, hello everybody. Being in a non-judgmental zone,
Ooh, I like that.
allow to be vulnerable. Oh, sorry, I think I'm reading one of the women, but that's good for the men to hear as well. Respect is what another man has said. Knowing my motives, or motivations rather.
Okay. So I'm guessing that means like don't hear what I mean, not what I'm saying or something? Like know the motivation behind what I'm saying?
I bet. Yeah,
Maybe.
I bet.
That takes some listening to
Feeling appreciated, being
that's
adored, or adoration, being adored. Again, respected. Oops, there's a lot of that. I see how plain I am. I'm like so many of you.
not so weird after all.
Yeah, that makes me feel okay. To be supported.
good.
Apply the love language, to be aware of my needs, to be respected, to be trusted.
Ooh, trusted.
To
Yeah.
be appreciated and respected. Hugs, cuddle time. That's from Blair. Way to go, Blair. You're always calling us higher. Respected, supported. When she speaks my love language, to be wanted, to be needed. Ooh, that's a good one. Can I change my answer? I like that one too. To be acknowledged, to be taken an interest in, to know my strengths and
Come
ask
on,
them.
guys,
We got a bunch of feely
Wow,
guys out here, right?
I'm
And it's going
impressed.
on and
That's
on.
awesome.
Validated, being respected, yep.
That's
Acknowledging
awesome.
my love. Ooh.
Oh, that's
Well done.
deep.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was golden. He's always, right? Acknowledge my love. Like, I'm trying here. Help me out. Give me a break type of stuff, right? No, I'm sure. Look, I'm putting words into Golden's mouth, and I should never do that. So really some great stuff here. Not doubting my motives in love, stuff like that. So,
I'm impressed. We weren't sure
Thank
that this
you.
was going to work.
Yeah, we've done something different than
That's
we've done in last
awesome.
week.
I will be writing all those down
So
afterwards.
hopefully, ladies, you were listening to that point too, because look, here's the reality. We are profoundly different, and we're actually supposed to be different. But we are also to be one. We were kind of taken out of each other, taken apart from each other. You are my missing piece.
Yeah.
But
I love that.
life always keeps us from getting together again. And then you've got God calling our intimate relationship as the unifying, as being one. He literally says, that's where you're one.
Yeah.
In yada, in yada yada, in sex. So it's that temporal chasing. We've got to get back to this place.
And we really wanted to make the point that it's absolutely, for sure, a reality that the more you know each other in this deep and meaningful way, the better your sex will be.
Yes.
Because you taught me last week, we got to bring it back to sex all the time.
It's funny. I tell Lisa when we do these classes, here's what the guys are always thinking. We're going to talk about this. Hey, you got to be feely. You got to love your wife. You got to talk to her. You got to get to know her. And after a while, the guys are like, all right, where's the sex? And what we fail to understand is that the sex is actually, it's there.
Yeah.
It's in all of these words. Or we're all smart enough to know that, okay, there's the sex, but we're talking about,
Yeah.
I'm going to spend the rest of my life talking to you are you feeling okay? And kind of like, is anything ever going to happen, right? So you might be feeling right now, we know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, okay, where's the sex? And we don't want to, well, should we do what we were going to do, or is that even
I
going to
actually
work
had a
right
question
now?
for you first.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
I'm going to take a drink.
we want
This is
to
water
try
in the
and
cup,
meet
by the way.
everybody's needs,
Uh-huh.
and that's really difficult. And so I was just thinking, what if you're watching this and maybe even watching this by yourself without your spouse? And
This is
maybe
going to be a tough question?
It's going to be a tough question.
Oh, my.
So Kevin, what do you do if you are in a situation where your spouse doesn't actually seem to want to know you at all and doesn't want to put any work into this knowing each other, wants to have sex with you but doesn't want to really know you, and doesn't none of the things that we've seen written there are they doing or willing to try to do. So you're going to do all the work, they're not going to change. How's that? What do you do in that situation?
So you're trying to speak to perhaps some people who are in that situation. Well, that is a really good question, and that is a really tough question. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
my beautiful darling.
Yes.
I would say I would start out by just acknowledging that I don't think if you're kind of in this session with us, you're probably not in a situation of in an abusive. I don't think that's what you're talking about. You're not talking about an abusive relationship, or a relationship that has unfaithfulness in it or consistent unfaithfulness in that way. I think if you find yourself in those kind of things, you need to take action to repair that. Obviously, some serious professional help in that way as well, or maybe even, and I think if I just described some pretty dysfunctional stuff right there, and so maybe you need to even move away from that relationship because it's completely toxic or unhealthy or abusive or something like that. Now, having said that, that's not what you're asking
No, that's
me about.
definitely no. I'm talking about the situation where the person is not doing anything
But
to
you're
help
in
the relationship,
you're
but
in a loving
they're
relationship, so to
they're
speak,
not
but-
abusing you, and they haven't broken.
Yeah.
They're committed to the relationship, but just not to putting much effort into the relationship.
And that happens, right? Sometimes that's not the goal of this session.
No,
That's not the goal of any of our sessions. In fact, the entire goal is you need to take responsibility. You need to keep trying. But sometimes we find ourselves in those kind of things. And I would just say my answer to that, and I'm not sure you're going to really like this. I think you're going to be okay with this. I'm not sure if everybody's really going to like this or not, but here's the reality. And again, I'm going to fish or mine a little bit from the Bible in giving an answer to you, or for the question you asked, and that is, but I would remind you again, for those who are believers, that this is actually written in God's Word. For those of you who aren't, I would say that even what God says to answer this question is some really common sense stuff and some neurologically the way the human brain does work. So here's my answer after I did a lot of tap dancing there. And I would say in the book of 1 Peter in chapter 3, I think it is around verse 1, there is this God actually addresses someone who's in a relationship like that. And he says that you can actually change your partner. You can bring them around. He does not say how long it takes. I will say that. It may take a long time. It could even take years. But he does give a nod or a tip of information that you can actually bring your spouse around to this place of yada, of wanting to know you, of really appreciating you, and even you can do it with no words at all. Now that's the most amazing thing, because that's just not the way we're wired. When somebody's frustrating us, what comes first? Words, right?
It's true.
But he says,
all
look,
the arguments.
if you're a woman and your husband doesn't believe, isn't interested, doesn't want to be a part, he's like, by the way you live, by your actions, by the things that you do. And so in short, or in long, I guess I'm saying, how can you bring someone along who's not interested? If I'm in a relationship with someone who's not interested in yada, in knowing me, what should I do? I should keep on consistently
Yeah.
yadaing
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
getting to know and showing
That's a
I
higher
want
calling.
to know
That's a
you.
really higher calling.
It's absolutely a challenge, but it can be done.
Yeah.
And we've seen
would
it
be
certainly happen.
True
over and
love.
over.
That would be. We're always looking for true love, and I think that situation would speak so much of true love on that individual's part. But
Okay, so don't listen to Kevin
Okay.
and Lisa and think to yourself that, oh, we're just so Pollyanna. You don't understand the pain I'm in. You don't understand what this does to me or how it hurts me. Listen, of course we do. We really do. And I'm going to now be sort of callous and say, but that's where you are. You can take some responsibility. You can work through this and you just keep trying, right?
Yeah.
We talked about this last week, that marriage at its core definition is restarting over and over
That's
and
right.
over and
That's
over
right.
again
Absolutely.
and being really comfortable
Yeah.
with a restart. Our marriage is apologies over and over and over and over again, and nobody
It's true.
gets so mad they
every
throw up their
day,
hands.
actually.
Thank you. It's true, and I have today.
Yeah,
Yes, I
yeah,
have.
yeah.
Yes, and that is sort of life. And
That's
you could
life.
go all the way back to my first analogy. That's the problem we have. We start off, you're my essence, you're the piece of me, I'm crazy about you, nothing will ever tear us apart, and then lots tears us apart.
Yeah.
And so we keep going back to that.
But they might still feel like we're not talking enough about sex.
We're not talking enough about sex.
They might feel that way.
Some guys might be feeling that.
And girls.
And girls. Okay, so what should we do? What should we do? Let's do this. How about we play this game? Why?
Okay.
So if you are you trying to? I don't even know how to set this up. This is just terrible. I don't think we should do this.
Huh?
I don't know how to get into this
Oh,
next
okay.
section.
Well, we just figured that you wanted us to get down to more of the mechanics
Yeah.
of sex.
Yeah.
And so we thought we should get a little more more clear.
I love you so much.
Okay.
Right now, in my brain, I have no
I'm
idea
following
what's
your
going-
lead,
Don't
honey.
follow my
I'm
lead.
following your lead.
I don't know what's going on right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think this. Let's not do this.
Okay.
Let's not do this. But let's go to our next idea here, and that is, okay, there's for any given one of us, when it comes to our sexual intimacy, I know this kind of sounds strange. You said this earlier on, that, our sex is spiritual even. When
Yeah,
we're it's
emotional.
emotional, it's
Yeah.
spiritual. But doesn't that sound a little bit weird, like it's spiritual? Because the world we grow up in, and a lot of things that we're taught, sex is kind of carnal, right? It's just kind of,
Yeah, well, that's-
I want you. And then the way the world informs us about sex is it's dirty, right? It's things like it's hidden, it's not talked about.
Right.
Even here, I think the more we say sex here on this YouTube channel, the more weirdos kind of show up and go, hey, what are you guys doing? Like there's something about that. I don't even know what I just did right there, if that was appropriate or not. But you're not weirdos, by the way.
No.
And we're not
They don't even
weirdos.
know what you're talking about.
Okay, all right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
only people who go
I
in the
bet they do.
chats
I
know
bet
what
they
you're
do,
talking
and
about.
I bet they do when they look at all the deleted comments.
Yeah,
in
but
here.
many people are watching this and not, and going to watch it not live and not see the chat. So anyway,
Want to see Kevin and Lisa get off topic and have a fight?
no.
1, 2, 3, go.
I love you.
I love you too. What were we talking about? Oh, so this whole concept that our intimate relationship can actually be something that is, and this is going to sound strange to you, is a growing
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a growing, and
Absolutely.
we can always learn.
Yeah.
And I think for some of us, like, man, I know the parts. I got nothing to learn.
Okay. So I think that what we want to do is just share with you that we're not in this class going to be getting into the these sessions, into the mechanicals of sex, the
Yeah.
actual function of sex. But there is a place for that in your growth as a married couple, a very important place. And so we're going to put on the screen right now an example. There's so many books out there, but here's an example of a book that I remember reading. I think I read it a little bit right before we got married, but not really, because I was so sure everything was going to work just
She knew where all the parts were.
But anyway, no, but
And by the
After-
way, I felt pretty, I approved. I
Yeah.
thought everything was pretty good there.
Anyway, so, but after we'd been married about 8 years and had 2 children,
Yeah.
I picked this book up again and read it from cover to cover, and I learned so much.
And just in case they can't see the screen, because who knows,
Right.
It's a book called Intended for Pleasure, and this book is, again, it's faith-based
Faith-based, yeah.
because anything we recommend is going to be more faith-based, just because we fundamentally believe that
God knows how it works
that
the
you
best.
wrap even the idea of sexual intimacy, but you couch it in what God's plan and how we respect and treat each other with dignity and that kind of stuff. It's going to be better. So
Yeah.
that's why we recommend these kind of books. But this book is a little bit more of a, would you say, is it more of a manual? It's more
It's got everything.
anatomy
It's
specific?
got all that. It's got diagrams. It's got problems. It's got situations that you can encounter, and it really did. I think you just can never be above learning. You can never think, oh, I'm so been married for X number of years. I have nothing to learn. In every stage of life, every season of life, there's something new happening. Our bodies change. And you can actually learn, both men and women, how to increase your pleasure in your sex life through learning and growing and researching. And so, yeah, we just wanted to share that with you. And there's many other books as well, but we wanted to share one that we actually read and benefited from.
Right. Yep. And so, as we said, this is more anatomy specific. This is more manual, if you will, and it's certainly going to be very helpful. But here's what we've encountered over the years as we've talked to other married couples. We find that the people who feel that they know everything are generally, the people who are having significant types of decline in their marriage and even in their sexual intimacy. And so we're the kind of people who say, actually, just be learners and just do the opposite and put this a high priority in your life. And
you're never too old to learn something, and and we're still learning stuff, and there's always new, exciting milestones to encounter in your sexual relationship.
It's kind of fun.
It is.
Yeah, so that helps with the, hey, you're the missing piece of me, you're the missing part of me, and that desire can continue, but you got to keep working at it, you got to keep sort of stoking those flames, so to speak.
Yes.
So as we kind of come to an end of another time together, we also wanted to, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, we know that these kind of, the way we've just taken a turn, can bring up other questions like, where do we go to help? For a couple of weeks now, you've said, get professional help if you need it. And by the way, we really would highly recommend, if you're in a situation that you're stuck, and if you're in a situation that you've talked about it, you've tried, and you just keep clunking back to that same place again, whether it is sexually or just in your marriage, and you're not doing it because it costs money and it's expensive, I would encourage you to reorient your mind about what is worth the price, because this relationship that you've started out with in life and that you've invested so much in, and I know what the world says to us, that these relationships are just disposable. Get rid of it. And I think that could be one of your worst decisions. It's worth at least the investment of really trying to figure some things out, whether that's intimacy, one with another, or whether it's just getting along in your marriage that way. So just a couple, we've just kind of thrown up something here. The top one is called the Family Life Center, and this is from my alma mater at Tyndale College, and that is in Toronto. We don't know where everybody's watching from, but Tyndale College is a college and seminary. I've graduated from there, and they have a really excellent program that is called the Family Life Center. And they've got a lot of counseling that they can offer people. Because it is in a place, a more faith-based type place, they even have opportunities to sort of work out even expenses if you're unable to, like, what can you, I can't promise, I'm not speaking on behalf of them, but they are often pretty reasonable. And they have marriage counseling, they have family counseling, they have sexual needs counseling. And so we certainly highly recommend that. Also, we put down here the Ontario Association of Marriage and Family Therapists, and that website is oamft.com. You can find a link to a lot of places that can really help you out there. So we always have a little sort of triage kit that we carry around in our mind. If people ever ask us, hey, I need some help, do you know any counselors? I'd like to be able to share some of those. Or do you know some places we can get help? Again, the top one is tyndale.ca, and then Family Life after it there. So just want to share that with you.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like we're having much fun anymore, but we are delivering good information, hopefully, to any of you who might be interested in that.
Yes.
Is there anything else we want to say before we kick everybody out of our living room? I think there's one more thing. Let's do a summary of
Okay.
what we've talked about. So today was all about, you might be a little confused. What was it all about? Well, it's about connection. And we said, well, how do you...
As God intended.
As God intended.
Yeah.
How do you get connection? Well, it's that word yada, or yada. What we're saying is yada, yada, yada. And so what's up on behind us here is simply this. If you want to improve your sexual intimacy with each other, yada your spouse. Yada your spouse quite literally, because yada, remember, is that twofold word. It means to have sex with.
Yes.
But it also means to know.
To know and understand and
right.
value
All of
and
that.
respect and
Yeah.
that good stuff.
So
Yeah.
we want to thank you for being with us tonight. We're basically to the end of our time. Sometimes in the past we've taken questions. Tonight we've engaged you by asking you how you did last week, and then we also engaged you by telling us and teaching each other how we feel best, how we want to be known.
And did you want to explain next week?
Why don't you explain next week?
So next week we are going to finish this intimacy series that we've been doing and really talk about just kind of, putting it all together, and we want to be very inspirational next week. We're not going to have websites up on the screen and stuff. We're just going to really share some things that will hopefully get you excited and get you engaged with each other and really enjoying kind of the fruit of all the things that we've been putting together over the last several weeks.
So you're saying our last week on intimacy, next week is all about the romance. Is that what we're doing? Or?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Well,
what are you saying?
Let's log off and
see. We should leave them curious
more.
and wanting more
You know
and
why
all that good stuff.
You know why they have to be curious?
Why?
Because we have no idea what we're going to do next week.
I do.
Oh, you do.
A little bit.
And
yeah,
I'll
we
listen
talked
to you.
about it.
I would like to get to know you more so you can tell me what we're going to do.
Oh, thank you. I love it when you get to know me more.
All right. Well, with that, we need to say goodbye. Thank you, Lisa.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for
Have a great
Marriage
night.
Monday. Oh, wait, before you go, everybody, we always want to talk about Temple Courts Online.
Yes.
Hey, tomorrow morning, don't forget that there's if you want to wake up early and learn how to read your Bible.
Have an awesome quiet time.
Do that. Go to Temple Courts Online.
Albert Lallman.
And that is torontocc.com. And that is a good thing. There's also lots of classes. By the way, this week,
It's going to be a great week.
Part of our congregation this Wednesday night, we're going to be having a midweek congregational meeting together, and there's lots of things. Go to Temple Courts Online, torontocc.com is where you can see all of that. This has been Marriage Monday. We want to say goodnight to you. Thank you for being with us, playing our games, listening to us, being silly with us, but also taking
and awesome
seriously.
Comments. Thank you for all the chat comments. Great stuff.
Taking seriously your marriage. So, get to know each other. Good night.
Good night.